Hey, Eagle fans, I'm Thomas Mott. Welcome into Philadelphia Eagles Now. We're going to jump into a mailbag video coming up here in just a couple of seconds. First, though, follow me on Twitter. We might already be there, but we're not there as of filming right now. Almost 3,000 followers on Twitter. I do a lot of Eagle tweets, tweet about the Cowboys losing on Thanksgiving Day. Follow me on Twitter right now. Help me get to 3,000 followers. All right, it's time for a mailbag as we always do here. Hope we had a great Thanksgiving. I did. Still at my parents' house right now, hence the weird colored background. But we're going to jump into your guys' mailbag questions here as quickly as possible. Romero says, I really like this offense. This is what they should have been doing since the start, since the beginning of the season. And the defense is slowly picking it up. This Eagles team is no joke. And I think the end part there is what I really like from this more mailbag statement than mailbag question. But Romero is 100% right. This Eagles team is no joke. Like Philadelphia, it's a team you do not want to play. Like you don't want to play the Eagles come January and then late January, as I should say, hopefully for a deep playoff run. Now, there are plenty of really good football teams currently in the NFC, and we'll show you, obviously, some of those teams a little bit later on, different question asking about teams you could beat in the playoffs, but Philadelphia is a dangerous team right now because they run the football so well. And I think if you're a football team in January and Philadelphia comes to your house, you have to worry about maybe it's cold weather. Philadelphia doesn't have to even throw the football. They just run the football right down your throat, and the defense is playing a lot better, which we'll talk about, obviously, here a little bit later on as well. They're blitzing a lot more. They're playing a lot more man coverage. They're getting a lot of turnovers. Like, everything Philadelphia is doing right are things you don't want to see in the postseason. That doesn't mean Philadelphia is going to go on this massive run and win a Super Bowl. I don't know if they're that good, but the schedule is super easy coming up the next couple of weeks, and it's looking like Philadelphia, at least for now, is a trending team in the upward direction that's looking pretty darn good in terms of a possible, maybe, wild card run, or as we've talked about in the past, how about a divisional run? We did a video on this a little while ago. The Philadelphia Eagles are a couple of games out of first place in the NFC East. I mean, look at the schedule, or look at the division right now, I should say. With the Cowboys losing on Thanksgiving Day, they've lost 3 of the last 4. Philadelphia has won 3 of the last 4. And really, if the Eagles are able to win on Sunday against the Giants, they're essentially 1 game out of the win column and 2 games out of the loss column with 6 to go, and still a matchup in Philadelphia against the Dallas Cowboys. And if they win their division and they're hosting a playoff game, it makes it even more dangerous because it'll be cold at Lincoln Financial Field. It'll be a home game at the Link. We know what those can be like come playoff time, as we saw during the Eagles' last deep playoff run, which resulted in a Super Bowl back in 2017. Let me ask you guys this. Predict the score for Eagles-Giants on Sunday. I just said, big game. The Eagles can win that game, divisional game. They have a real chance of winning the NFC East. If they win, I think I saw a statistic saying they'll have a 58% chance to make the postseason if they win on Sunday. So give me your score prediction for Eagles-Giants down below right now during this ad break. There'll be a pinned comment as well, so just scroll down during the ad break and answer the pinned comment right now. I'll jump into another question here. Hector says, if the Eagles make the playoffs, who do you think they can beat? It's a good question, okay? I mean, listen, every single team, I think, right now in the NFC, in terms of the division leaders, are all very, very good. I think they obviously, currently, the Cowboys, even though they're struggling a little bit, are still a dangerous football team. You have the Bucks up there. You have the Packers, the Cardinals, the Rams are not a division leader currently, but they can be. Those are all very, very good football teams. But I think these are the 2 or 3 teams that you could definitely beat on the road if you played your best. I think you could 100% beat Dallas. There's some sort of, rematch in terms of the Cowboys being like a 4 seed or a 3 seed, Philadelphia being a 5, 6, or 7 seed. There could be a rematch there. You can definitely beat Dallas on the road. I think Tampa is gettable. I think that defense especially is gettable. I do think that the matchup we saw on Thursday night, the Eagles weren't at their, usual running strength. I think now Philadelphia would at least have a chance to beat the Bucks. And even though I think Tom Brady and the Bucks are playing very good football, they struggled the past couple of weeks. That loss to the Washington football team was a little bit disappointing. So I think they could beat the Bucks. I think the Packers are another gettable football team right now. The defense got exposed, I think, a little bit in the Viking game. Running the football, cold Lambeau Field could be big. I'm not saying the Eagles would for sure win these games, but those are the 3 teams that I would like to see, one of those 3, in the first round of the playoffs. Now, I don't want to see the Rams, and I do not want to see the Cardinals. Those are my 2 teams that I just do not think anyone is going to beat. I think Philadelphia had a really rough time against the Cardinals. Zach Ertz revenge game anybody. I think that the Rams they're just too good on both sides of the football and too explosive. I think they'd spread Philadelphia out a little bit too thin and throw the ball really, really well on them. So those are the 2 teams that I am not wanting to see in the playoffs. Although, to be honest, like I said, all these teams in the NFC are really, really good. Every single team who's going to be in the postseason is going to be good. And maybe Philadelphia can beat them. Maybe they can't, but right now, my focus is winning this division and getting to a wild card spot, and then we'll deal with, obviously, which team you're going to play weeks from now in the NFC wild card or divisional round. Who wins, or let me ask you this, who's the best team in the NFC right now? Like, if you had to pick a team in the NFC to win the NFC championship game and go to the Super Bowl, who would it be? Because mine's the Cardinals when Kyler Murray gets healthy. Maybe the Rams. Of course, you got Rodgers. A lot of good football teams in there. Give me yours, though, down below in the comment section right now. Before we go ahead and get into our next question from Andre, we'll shout out to our friends at BetUS, chatsports.com/EaglesBet. Promo code is Eagles125. Get that 125% deposit bonus whenever you first sign up and bet on the Eagles. Let's get into my picks for Week 12. We were 3-2 last week, so iffy on my picks. Here we go. Titans +7 at the Patriots. They were the 7-point road underdogs. The Tennessee Titans, they've beaten the Bills, they've beaten the Chiefs. I know Tennessee struggled in that win against the Saints 2 weeks ago, but give me the Tennessee Titans to at least to cover +7. That's a ridiculous line. I'll take Philadelphia -3. I think the Eagles win by at least 7 in this one. I've been up and down betting the Eagles. We won our bet last week. -3 is probably their biggest favorite they've been all year according to Vegas. We'll take the Eagles -3. I think the Bucks -3 at the Colts. I think they can roll the Colts. I just said the Bucks are a team Philadelphia could beat, but I think the Bucks are still a good football team. Vikings are +3 at the Niners. Why are the Vikings underdogs? I know the 49ers are trending upward, but they just beat the Jaguars. Not even that good of a football team. Give me the Vikings. And then Washington and Seattle's a pick'em. I'll take Washington in this one, basically meaning that they don't know who's going to win. I'll take Washington in that one. Those are my bets of the week. You want to jump in on those, chatsports.com/EaglesBet. That promo code is Eagles125. Andre says, hey Thomas, I think TJ Edwards and Davion Taylor are the two pieces the Eagles should build around the linebacker position. Greetings from Germany. Well, hello, greetings from Germany. I've never been to Germany, although I did take German via Rosetta Stone in middle school, so I know a very little bit of Deutschland, of Deutsch. You know, talking about German, but I digress. Either way, yeah, I think that's kind of the plan right now is that Taylor and TJ Edwards will be 2 of the 3 starting linebackers next year. I don't know if Alex Singleton will make the cut. I think Philadelphia's going to draft a linebacker at some point in the draft, hopefully early on. We know what Howie Roseman does. He doesn't draft early in linebackers in the draft, minus, who was that guy? Jordan Hicks, who's not really good for the Cardinals. But we do have to at least admit, and we did this last week, linebackers are playing really good football. And I think that TJ Edwards deserved that contract extension. Davion Taylor was a real bummer. He got hurt. He's out the next 3 weeks on IR with a knee injury, but they are playing good football. Now, without Davion Taylor, they might come back down to earth just a little bit because he was a starter in their base defenses, but I think we have to at least give credit. They're trending upward and playing better, much like the rest of the team, than they did at the start of the year. I like Davion Taylor's future. I think he can definitely be a starter on this team, but I still think that second round, third round, you have so many draft picks next year, you've got to add a linebacker in the first 4 rounds, somebody that you can kind of see as being a future starter and a future stud. They need to draft somebody at some point in the NFL draft next year. Okay, before we go ahead and get into Christian's question here, make sure you guys are subscribed to Philadelphia Eagles Now, as we, of course, are heading towards Christmas. And if there's an early Christmas gift to me, go down below and hit the subscribe button. We would greatly appreciate that because we're trying to go ahead and climb our way up to 22,000 subs and then maybe 25,000 subs and just keep going higher and higher. Philadelphia trending upward. We're trying to move upward as well. If you guys like the latest Eagles news and rumors as well as Mailbag videos, go down below and hit the red subscribe button. Okay, Christian says, who should get the most praise for the run game, RBs or O-line? Moore will line up against Devontae Smith. Moore will line up against Devontae Smith all game Sunday. If so, who wins the battle? Hopefully Devontae Smith because they're going to run the football, man-to-man coverage. Okay, but in terms of who gets the most praise, we got to give praise to the offensive line. The offensive line was supposed to be great going into the year. They had all these injuries. You insert Landon Dickerson, who, less than a year removed from a major knee injury and all this sort of thing, and it's okay, he's not playing very good football, but much like the rest of the Eagles, they are really trending upward. And we're going to give big-time credit to him, credit to Urbig. Of course, Kelsey's playing at another Pro Bowl level, maybe even an all-pro level, and Lane Johnson coming back from his little quick mental health break has been absolutely fantastic, and same with Jordan Mailata. These guys are paving the way up front. If you watch any sort of the breakdowns that I retweet on Twitter, Brian Baldinger or Brian Westbrook does breakdowns, you see how great the offensive line has been inside the trenches. So you've got to give credit to them because they've been fantastic. I think the running backs deserve credit. I think Howard had been fantastic prior to his injury. I think Scott filling in was really great. Sanders, 94 yards rushing last week. They're playing good football, but really, they're getting big, giant holes and then just running right through them. Philadelphia, I think Jordan Howard was the number 1 running back in terms of yards before contact, which means he's not even getting touched 5 or 6 yards past the offensive line. So credit to both, but the credit for me really goes to the offensive line. Speaking of Twitter, I want you guys to send me your score predictions, Eagles, Giants, to my Twitter account. So you guys want to tweet me at RealThomasMott, follow me, or DM me on Twitter. Send me your guys' official score predictions for Sunday down below right now. Not down below right now. I mean, you can down below right now, or actually do it in my Twitter feed. One more here. I am Hip Hop Anime Lover says, hey T-Mott, With the way we are playing, the amount of balls being thrown, is it fair to turn on Reagor so quickly? Yes, it is, because they keep trying to give him the football. Like, they are designing plays that get him the football in space, a lot of screen plays. He's just not doing anything with the football. And you even see that on kick returns. Like, he's done nothing in terms of punt returns and kick returns for this football team, and that was something he did a little bit of last year. He turned one against the Green Bay Packers. I think Reagor's a bust, and I hate to say it because it's so early, but we kept waiting for J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, a second-round draft pick, to not be a bust, and he's absolutely been 100% a bust, minus that big catch for 23 yards last week against the Saints. I think overall Reagor has been a bust. I think they're going to have to draft a wide receiver at some point next year, maybe even early on. Like, maybe they truly agree with me that he is a bust, so they decide to go ahead and just bring in somebody in the first round like a Chris Olave. That's a possibility, but it's really been Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, who's not a wide receiver, and then a very little bit of Quez Watkins. Like, I would be giving all the Reagor snaps to Quez Watkins because he's at least done something with the football in his hands. Reagor, except for a couple of catches here and there, has been, let's just be honest, extremely disappointing, and it's tough to watch, but it's true. And I hope he's not a bust. Maybe year 3 he pops, maybe the second half of the year he pops, but he's just been, oh man, I'm very done with Jalen Reagor. All right, also for today on our Photo Eagles Now mailbag video. If you guys' question was not answered this week, maybe ask a better one because maybe I just saw it and didn't pull it, or we didn't have enough time to go ahead and get to it. So go down below, use the hashtag Eagles, and ask any sort of Eagle-related question down below in this comment section. We might pull it for a future mailbag video coming up next week. And of course, be sure to be a subscriber because that is the rule. You gotta be a subscriber to get your mailbag question answered. All right, also for today on our Photo Eagles Now mailbag video, I'm your host Thomas Mott signing off. Talk to you guys on Monday following hopefully a big Eagles win against the Giants.